Hey guys, it's Al again, and today I want to do something I haven't had a chance to do yet on this channel. I want to talk about wrestling. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do this a little more in the future. Hopefully there'll be good things to talk about in the future. It's hard to say with today's wrestling product. It can be a little hit or miss. But I've been a wrestling fan for most of my life. I used to watch it with my dad when he was alive, and I still watch it today. I grew up in the Attitude Era, watching the WWF then, became the WWE now, WCW, ECW. I do occasionally go back on the WWE Network, watch old NWA videos. I do watch old pay-per-views on there. I just have a lot of fun nostalgia around the product and around certain wrestlers. And what I want to talk about is, given the day that this is posting, you can probably guess, the Women's Royal Rumble. There have been Women's Battle Royals in the past, but this is the first big pay-per-view based around a Women's Battle Royal. And I want to talk about that, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it here on YouTube. But we're going to kind of go through the participants. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the match at the end. And there were some surprises, a few too many for my taste, but we'll get into that later. Anyway, let's run down the list of participants, shall we? Now, for this list, I'm not going to talk directly about eliminations. You can go back and watch the Rumble yourself for that. They'll probably run through it tonight on Raw, so you'll probably have an idea what happened before you even see this, is my guess. I'm just going to run through the participants. I am going to spoil who won, so I will warn you before that, so that you can skip it if you want to. If you don't want me to spoil the winner. But let's run through the participants, shall we? And then at the end, I'll give you my overall thoughts on the Rumble, how it went, the good, the bad, and of course we'll talk about the aftermath of the Rumble. So at number 1, we had Sasha Banks. Number 2 was Becky Lynch. Number 3 was Sarah Logan. Number 4, we had Mandy Rose, and it was really interesting to see how Absolution and the Riot Squad, now that there's a member from each in the ring, would interact with each other. Entering at number 5, you had Lita coming back. Number 6 from NXT was Kairi Sane, and I really liked seeing her come in as a little house of fire and hitting everybody with that big elbow she had. It was real fun to watch. And at number 7, Tamina. Number 8 was Dana Brooke. Number 9, Tori Wilson. Number 10 was Sonya Deville. 11 was Liv Morgan, who had kind of an outfit on that kind of reminded me of Harley Quinn for some reason. Number 12, another surprise entrant, Molly Holly, somebody from my home state, by the way. Coming in at lucky number 13 was Lana. And number 14, Mrs. Undertaker herself, Michelle McCool. Halfway through now, Ruby Riott of the Riot Squad comes in at number 15. At number 16, a completely wasted entrant, if you ask me, Vicky Guerrero. Number 17 was Carmella, and the only good thing that Vicky Guerrero did was she took that briefcase away from Carmella and hit her with it. Number 18 was Natalya. Number 19, the former exhibitionist of ECW, Kelly Kelly. Number 20, we had Naomi. Number 21 was another surprise entrant, Jacqueline. Number 22, Nia Jax. Number 23 was the NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon. And she came in still selling the arm from the night before. So good ups on her, still selling the arm. Nice to see a bit of continuity there from the WWE. Number 24, the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix. And I was always a big fan of hers when she was around. And she had a really cool face-to-face stare-down with Nia Jax that I really liked. I actually, here in my living room, popped for that one. So that was a real fun spot they had. At number 25, Asuka. Number 26, Mickie James. Numbers 27 and 28 were Nikki and Brie Bella, respectively. Number 29 was Bayley. And the big surprise entrant at number 30 was Trish Stratus. Okay, so here it comes. I'm about to spoil who won the Royal Rumble, so if you don't want to hear this, skip ahead about 10 seconds. But the winner of this year's Royal Rumble was Asuka, proving again that nobody is ready for Asuka, which I really enjoyed. I actually picked Asuka to win it going in, and I'm really looking forward to seeing whoever she ends up facing at WrestleMania. With that said, I do have some issues with this Royal Rumble. And my main issue with it is, frankly, there were way too many guest spots in this Rumble. And if they're going to keep doing this year after year, they need to expand their active women's roster. By my count, there were 11 guest entrants into this Royal Rumble if you count each of the Bellas as guest entrants. And considering neither of them has wrestled since... Oh, I think the most recent one was Nikki wrestled at this last WrestleMania. That's, I think, the most recent one to have wrestled. So, yeah, over a third of your entrants were guests. And one of them was Vicky Guerrero. Really? That's the best you can put in there. You could have pulled some people from NXT to fill those spots. And they didn't have to be in there long. But come on, guys. So that's one of my big problems with the Rumble. Too many guests. And a lot of the people they had in there weren't even that good when they were wrestling. I mean, come on, Tori Wilson, Kelly, neither of them were ever that good. Of course, Carmella, she's not that good now. You know, it was nice to see some people like Jacqueline in there, who was a legitimate female badass back in the day. And Beth Phoenix, great to see her in there. The Bellas were predictable. I was a little surprised to see Trish, not terribly. I was really surprised to see Lita, considering she had to retire, I believe, due to a neck injury. And speaking of Lita, oh my God, she almost killed herself in this match. She's obviously rusty, can't do this anymore. And this all came about. There was a spot where she hits a couple people with Twist of Fate, and she definitely does not hit it as smoothly as she used to. That is a given based on that. But then she went up to the top rope to do her moonsault. And the camera had to cut away because she was coming down at such a bad angle. It looked like she was going to fall on her head and break her neck. So I'm sorry, you just cannot be giving these spots to this many people. I mean, if you want to have one or two come back a year, great, fine. You know, I loved seeing the Hurricane show up in the men's Rumble. That was a lot of fun. But it was just way too many. And another issue I had with it is the women that didn't have spots set, they always seem to be on the outside taking a breather. All right, I can deal with the fact that they don't go over the top rope too often, so they were a little iffy about doing that. That'll come with time, but just the setup for the Rumble, not the greatest. I'm hoping to see it improve. I really do want to see this improve. I want to see this become a big thing every year, just like the men's Rumble is. Now the aftermath of this match. So Asuka's about to pick who she wants to face, and she's standing in between Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what would be really cool is if she says, I want you both, and they unified the titles. I would really like to see them do that with the women's division because it's just too sparse being spread out between the two shows. They really need to combine them and either pick a show for it to be on. Maybe Monday night gets the cruiserweights, Tuesday nights gets the women, or it floats between the two shows. Whichever way you do it, you almost have to connect the rosters. They don't have enough active women on the main roster to deal with the brand split. But before she makes her decision, out comes, surprise, surprise, said nobody who pays attention because she was supposed to debut. She was supposed to debut today. Anyway, surprise, surprise, Ronda Rousey comes out, and she came out really pretty much full Roddy Piper garb. She had a t-shirt on that looked like the old Hot Rod shirts. I don't know if it said Rousey or Rowdy Rouse or Rowdy Rossi. It probably said one of the two, but she had the old Roddy Piper's leather jacket on over it, so you couldn't read it. They referred to her as Rowdy Ronda Rousey a couple of times, so yeah, that's obviously going to be her. She's going to. It looks like she's going to have a Roddy Piper like gimmick. She didn't really do anything. She came out, tries to shake hands with Asuka. Asuka bats it away. She pointed at the WrestleMania sign. She did a really awkward handshake with Stephanie McMahon, literally kind of setting her hand out there. It was just, the whole blocking of the situation was really awkward. And I don't know if that's people planning it. I don't know if she is still that awkward with the whole blocking of it. She is a hell of an athlete, so I have no doubt that she'll take to being to the ring pretty well. But right now, yeah, her blocking was her body language in there was just it was missing something and it was really awkward. And again, I don't know if that's what she because that's what she was told to do with the pointing and it literally looked like if you've ever seen that first Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage, when they do the consistent pointing, that's what it reminded me of. It was just it was not great, but it was a big surprise, and I can see why they did it that way rather than have that first and then the men's second, because it would have taken some of the steam out of Nakamura's win in the men's Rumble match. But that's what I thought about the Women's Royal Rumble match. Thanks for stopping by. If you liked it, give me a like, drop a comment. Hey, even subscribe if you want. This is Al. See you next time.